Welcome back to Game Set Bet. I'm Sarah Pararia, joined once again by Crina Mustafa. And guess what? Rafa won.
I'm so glad you opened it like that because you guys will see this on Twitter later, but we have an image of Sarah hugging the TV with Rafa at the net with Mr. Taylor Fritz. So
Listen,
I know you're excited.
We actually delayed filming so we could watch that match. And what a match it was. Went to 5 sets and it went to a tiebreaker in the end. Also to note that Rafa looks like he picked up some sort of abdominal injury. We don't really know what happened because he just continued playing. He took a medical break, I think, in the 3rd set, I want to say. And there's actually like video of his father yelling at him saying, keep going, like, which I kind of love, but you could tell there was a little bit of a lull period where he was definitely in pain and he was struggling. And then all of a sudden it seemed like he almost just like turned on this beast mode. I'm not even going to focus on it, and was just nailing every single shot. And he came back and he won after being down in the first.
Yeah, you could see like his abdominal was kind of taped already. So maybe something was already bothering him like in these kind of days. And so, hopefully he's okay for the next matchup with Mr. Nick Kyrgios, which we both know that's going to be a very eventful match. We know, we were talking about this off the show, that Rafa is not a player you can get into his head.
Yeah.
He's experienced. He's dealt with Kyrgios before. He kind of knows what to expect. So I think he might have a tough time going up against Rafa, assuming Rafa is feeling healthy enough.
That's my only concern. We did talk off air about what is going to happen with Rafa, because my concern is he going to pull out or is he going to not be able to finish the match pending on how bad the injury is. So, of course, I hope he's healthy. I hope he's able to just kind of, walk it off. And then by Friday for the semifinal against Kyrgios, he's able to play. Because the worst is also, especially in like semifinals and Grand Slams, like you don't want to see either player pull out. Like it's so heartbreaking. But yeah, I couldn't agree with you more that Kyrgios, I don't think is going to be able to get into Rafa's head at all. I feel like Rafa's the kind of guy who's like, I don't even care. I'm not even listening. Like in my head, I have like a whole thing going on.
Yeah, he's more worried about his own game and how he's doing and not really about what his opponent is doing. So yeah, I agree. I think, assuming Rafa is healthy, I think we could probably take Rafa in 4 sets.
I think so too. I think so. And he is going to be a little bit tired, so I think he's also going to want to, definitely shorten this match in case he does meet, who could it be? Djokovic on Sunday. The other semifinal on Friday will be Djokovic and Norrie, who Norrie just kind of squeezed by Goffin.
Yeah.
And that was also a great match. Do you think he's going to be a little bit tired now going up and playing Novak Djokovic?
Oh, for sure. I honestly did not think that it would go to 5 sets against Goffin. I think that Norrie probably would have had an easier time. So the fact that he did have a little bit of a harder time makes me a little bit worried for how he's going to fare against Djokovic. I think Djokovic at this point is just eyeing the prize. He's like, I'm so close. I think Cam Norrie is going to be a tough opponent, but I think Novak's got this in the bag.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think we were saying this off air, but it would be so great to see Rafa meet Djokovic in the final at Wimbledon, because we only have so many more of these head-to-heads between these two. And I feel bad saying it because we've seen so many good players, and Fritz played well. He, and Norrie, and I mean, even Kyrgios getting this far, it's kind of crazy, but I don't want to take away from them, but I think being in the majority of people are really hoping to see Rafa and Djokovic in the final on Sunday. So.
Yeah, we want a nostalgic final for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But moving on to the WTA, a little bit more on what we spoke about yesterday with Kyrgios and his, alleged assault charges, rather. So after Tomljanovic played Rybakina and lost.
Yeah.
So we're also talking, that's a tough post-match press conference, as like it would be. She was asked by a journalist if, when she was dating Kyrgios in the past, if he was abusive towards her.
Yeah, which is wild to me because what does that have to do with the match that she just played, which, like you just mentioned, she did lose it. So she's already in a different mindset than if she would have won it. And now she also mentioned in her tweet that she posted about it, because she was very critical about that question, that the reporter didn't even ask her anything about the match. So it was just that question specifically. And it just seems a very inappropriate time to bring that up. It's a very personal question, maybe something that you ask kind of like off the record, maybe, or like not.
But playing devil's advocate, as a journalist, you sometimes really have to ask these pressing questions. So is he or she, I don't actually know, are they in the wrong for asking? Yeah, it might be slightly, against our morals maybe, but did they actually like cross a line or break a rule, I think is my question.
I think they crossed the line in terms of the timing of the question. Like I said before, I think in a different situation, you can kind of see, it also depends the relationship you have with that player as well. I feel like, like they're not going to give up the information that you're looking for a lot of the times, especially if they're not comfortable with you. And so I don't think that was the time or the place to ask that question, even though it could have been an important question depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. I think this is also putting a lot of weird pressure onto Kyrgios as well. Like I could imagine if he somehow gets wind of it, I would kind of be like, what? Well,
because think about it. Would a reporter ask him, "Did you abuse your other ex-girlfriends?" Like they wouldn't ask him
if he
that.
says yes, then he's admitting to a crime.
Exactly. Like that's the kind of like murky area there.
Yeah. Yeah, very strange behavior all around this tournament though at Wimbledon. I feel like we've seen a lot of very kind of, I don't want to say disrespectful. I feel like it's a bit of a harsh word, but just strange behavior. But moving on, Rybakina did win that match, so congrats to her. And she will go and play Simona Halep in the semifinal on Thursday. How are you feeling, Miss Simona Halep fan?
Yeah. Halep did kind of dismiss Anisimova this morning, which was nice to see. It was getting a little scary in that second set, and Anisimova was kind of pushing back a little. She broke one of her breaks back, and I didn't know if she was going to finish it in straight sets at one point. So glad to see that she did, but now she faces Rybakina, who is, I know I said Badosa was her hardest opponent. Rybakina is the next one after that. A really, really hard opponent to get past. She's like 6 feet tall.
Really strong.
Super powerful. Yeah. She's going to be really tough to play against. But Halep is not a stranger to this. She had actually, the last time that her and Rybakina played was in 2020 in Dubai, which was right before the pandemic, right before the world shut down. And Simona had won the Dubai title. So it was a very tough match. I'm expecting another tough one here. With the form that Halep is in, I think she should get through this in 3 sets.
Yeah, I agree. The way Simona plays when she's completely on, especially on grass, it's just like getting it done and as fast as she can, like we saw in her previous match. But that semifinal on Thursday, along with Ons Jabeur and Maria, who, again, I hate to say this, but I think there's something inside all of us that is really hoping that the final on Saturday will be Jabeur and Halep because they so deserve it the way these two are playing. But break down what you think is going to happen for me in the semifinal, first of all, between Jabeur and Maria.
Yeah, so Jabeur is heavily favored, as she should be. I mean, coming into this, she's had a phenomenal season. And, Maria is 34 years old. She's had success now. She hasn't really had success before. So this is going to be a tough opponent. It's a very impressive run for her so far. But I think that Jabeur is going to take this one very straight sets. It might be a little bit closer, which is why the bet that we've chosen to go with is Jabeur over 12.5 games, just because I think that's kind of safer. You're not going to assume that Jabeur is going to get past really easily at this stage.
A couple donuts.
Yeah, I really don't think that'll happen. But yeah, she's shown her respect for Maria as well. Like she's shown her admiration in her post-match pressers as well. So it'll be a good match. But I think I'm crossing my fingers that it'll be Jabeur and Halep on Saturday.
And what a match that will be, and we will see. But tomorrow, Thursday, the women's semifinals, Friday's the men's, and we'll be back to talk all about it and more Wimbledon.